Well, this is a great turnout. Welcome, everyone. This is a nice venue, too. I missed last year, but I've been to several of them. And although I'm not an active firefighter, I do spend a considerable time with you guys at the firehouse. And I know my buddy Summer out there and I were parking cars at the last chicken dinner. And that was an experience. But I want to tell you, firefighting and fire service has always been extremely important to me. As many of you know, I'm a registered fire protection engineer. In fact, the first one in the state of Massachusetts, and I used to teach courses on fire protection and firefighting. I had firefighters in my course because the state of Massachusetts at that time were giving a pay incentive if you had an associate's degree, so I granted associate's degrees. And I got to tell you, the firefighters were smarter than some of the guys that I got my degree with at Tufts University. I couldn't believe it, that these guys would find faults and find corrections in some of my lectures, which made me better, obviously, but it made me work a little bit harder in preparing for them, too. But I want to welcome you all. It's a great day, a little bad weather, but not as cold as it has been in the past, which is great. So welcome, enjoy yourselves. We've got some great guests here. We'll be introduced later, but I want to now ask Carolyn Black to come up and say our prayer. Thank you.
Let us pray. Our precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this get-together for this evening with every company that comes together and that join together in celebrating the election of our new officers. Be with them as they go to their calls, direct them, protect them, and bring them back safely. And now as we partake of this food, bless it to our bodies, bless the hands that have prepared it, and help us to serve you better. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with the dinner program. I always like to eat first to get everybody on a full stomach. So the ladies from the back will direct you. We'll start in the back and work our way out. I hope you enjoy the meal. Thank you for coming. Do our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we can meet.
I want to thank you everybody for coming to our installation dinner. I really, truly appreciate it. And I'm going to ask the following ladies to please come up here and join me. Mrs. Carolyn Black, Nicole Perazzi. They don't know they're being called either, so okay. Laura Kelly, Sarah Berry, and Lorraine Berry, Carrie Whitbrader, Stephanie Warnack, Kat Petrosky, Courtney Fink, Lizzie, Brooks, sorry, Michelle Others, Marissa Walker. These girls have no idea why I called them up here today. I really felt this was very important for all of you to be up here. I'll wait for everybody to get there. I wanted to recognize each and every one of you for the love and support you give to your husbands and your children, for the people who have children involved as well, for their service in helping others. Mrs. Black, I especially asked you up here because of all the wonderful service you've given to Maplewood Fire as your secretary. We really, truly appreciate it. This installation dinner is not only to honor our volunteer firefighters, but we cannot honor them without honoring these ladies up here. They give all the love and support to our firefighters. And without that, we would not have such dedicated volunteers. I know what it's like to be on both sides. I've gone on calls and assisted. I know the importance of what our volunteers do for our community. But I've also been the wife left at home when my husband had to go on a call with a house full of guests. And of course, I have to stay behind. But I truly know the sacrifice that each one of you ladies give for your husbands and children to be involved in volunteer fire department. And it's not only for the calls, but you also have to put aside time for our training. And we have to do the training because the training is to ensure our volunteers have the highest probability to come home safe to you ladies. So again, I deeply say thank you. And remember, we are our children's and our husbands' biggest cheerleaders and supporters. I would like to present you with a small token of my appreciation by giving you a plaque to help you through those times when your heart sinks a little and sometimes a lot when those calls come in. And also, it's a way to count your blessings. The plaque that I'm presenting to you is a little thing that lights up, and it has the fireman's prayer on it, and I'd like to read it. It's the fireman's wife's prayer, I should say. Lord, I thank you for my husband, the firefighter that I love. Give me the strength to give him support with your guidance from above. My husband once more is called away with hopes of keeping another mother's child safe. Our plans have gone awry. The first impulse is merely to sit down and cry. But I soon realized the importance of my life when I agreed to take the duties of being a fireman's wife. While there are many drawbacks, I'll take them in stride, knowing God put me in his life to stand proudly by his side and give him the support and love no other can for the bravery and courage to help others. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the strength and honor of being a firefighter's wife. Amen. So I'd like to each give you his gifts. And I want, again, thank you so much for putting up with us. You guys are really the biggest support of our volunteers.
Ain't she something? What a catch. I didn't hear that before, and it really moved me. And it is true. We couldn't do what we do without the women behind us and to support our families, keep things going when we're out on a call. And I wanted to say a couple things. 624 calls responded to in 2025. You know how many of those calls that the public expected somebody that was professional and well-trained and equipped to handle? 624. The unrealistic expectations that the public has. Nowadays you see so much stuff with AI, social media, stuff that's put out there. It used to be television programs like Emergency and the movie Backdraft. Everybody's seen that, where a fireman jumps from fire escape to fire escape with his gear on. And, but you knew it was entertainment. But now, with artificial intelligence and stuff, you're starting to see more and more stuff be doctored up, what you actually see, and especially our young people, our young firemen, and even not just here, but in the business world, if you go out, the stuff is being doctored and it's being done in a way where they're doing it so it's easy to tell, but I think that's the trap, to kind of desensitize you to seeing it and becoming familiar with it to where you're like, oh yeah, okay. And they're changing stuff that you have to be very careful. Everything that we do on the fire ground nowadays it used to be cell phone cameras, now it's overhead drones are taking pictures before the fire truck even arrives, live video. Every single move we make is under the microscope, more than ever. And we just have to be diligent in what we do and the way that we're prepared to respond to incidents, the way that we train, the way that we communicate, the way that we act. Every home has home security cameras anymore, and you don't realize you could be standing in the driveway of somebody else's house for an incident that's across the street, and they could hear you talking about something, and that could go viral. You know, so we have to be, every step of our life, we have to be conscious of what we're doing, and it's so important to share that professionally as a company, because that's what we want. That is our goal, to be a well-run, well-organized company. We have to remember, you know, things started out with the axe, and then it went to the chainsaw. Now we have battery-powered tools, and the technology changes, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But we also have to remember where we came from. We still have an axe if the chainsaw won't start. And I say that to say, like, remember where we came from. You know, all of us in the way that we work. Vince Lombardi, who was a Hall of Fame football coach from another generation, he said, perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we will catch excellence. And the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. And that has to be the goal. That when we go out, every single time we train, we show up at the firehouse for everything that we do, that we're working hard to be the best organization that we can be. Ladies and gentlemen, the success in your organization and even your own personal life, it comes down to your personality and who you are. You want to show up early, show up on time, stay off your phone, and work hard. Those are life lessons that'll take you, not just in the fire service, but in your career, in your personal life, in your relationships, all those things. There's all areas that we can do better at. You know, my grandmother used to say, when you're pointing the finger at somebody else, remember these 3 fingers are pointing back at you. So when we go to a call, we want to make sure you have all your gear on, right? You just had 5 minutes. Let's say it's 2 in the morning. By the time you get out of bed, you get to the firehouse, and you're riding in that fire truck to get to the scene, right? You've had 5 minutes at least to get your stuff on, your hood, your mask, all that stuff. There's so much stuff out there. You see the house is burning, the fire truck rolls up, because we have the video cameras that are everywhere. And people get off the truck. Okay, the house is burning. Now I don't know what takes so long to get the hose up to the front door. Now we're going to drop to our knees and put their mask on. If there's a kid in that house, how long do you think she has? People say, well, it takes 15 seconds for me to put my mask on, and I have to have my situational awareness. If you're an officer riding the officer seat, you can have the situational awareness. If you're a worker that's in the jump seat of that fire truck, have your stuff together and be ready to go to work. If that line needs to be flaked out, move with purpose. You need to move. You don't have to run on the fire ground, but you need to move with purpose to get things done. You know, tired of seeing just guys goofing off on the fire ground is about what, and I don't mean our guys, I'm talking just the stuff you see out there. So, whatever you do it with all your heart, your mind, and your body and soul. Be cautious of what you watch on social media, because your eyes are the window gate to your soul. What you see, if you put garbage in, It's going to be garbage in your little computer, in your brain. Understand what you're looking at. There's so much stuff. This holiday season we saw, it's more and more and more the ChatGPT generated pictures. And if you look at them, you can see that it might be the front of somebody's fire truck, but it's actually, there's something else in the background that's not right, or it's a little bit off. And again, I think they're doing that intentionally so that you can kind of get comfortable with it, and it's in your life in every aspect. And it was funny, we were looking at something the other night, and it said, bridge collapse in West Virginia. Okay, well then you look, and the fire trucks that were all on the other side of the bridge were all European. It wasn't even the actual picture. So, we're in the reality business. And the people expect perfection, and they deserve it. So we need to work for excellence, and we'll work towards perfection. We have Nick come up, we're going to do some awards. This first service award is for a gentleman that came to our department and has just taken us to a whole nother level. The amount of work that it accomplished this year, we would not have got the new building up like we wanted to. With the amount of dirt that was moved and everything, he's involved in every aspect of what happens to the benefit of the company. And he's agreed this year to come on as our vice president and help lead our organization. Bill Warnock.
Oh, this night is real. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Look at that, huh? Oh, yeah.
This is presented to Austin Kaiser for 15 years of service. Steve Pietrowski for 10 years service. Tyler Fink for completing his Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 certification. This next award of appreciation is to Van Gordon's Towing. We had an incident with one of our trucks back there in the summer where it had a mechanical issue. We called them up on a Sunday, came right out, took the truck to the shop, and when we called him up to ask him, you know, what do we owe? And he said nothing. And you know, small businesses are the backbone of the community, and they can't afford to do stuff like that without the support of the community behind them. And very appreciative of what John and his family did for us. This is a Green Cross Award that's presented from Hearst Rescue Equipment when the Jaws of Life is used in a rescue situation to rescue somebody from a vehicle. Steve Petrosky. The final award that we have is to Lake Township for the continued support that we have. This year we were able to get the building project underway thanks to a $40,000 increase in funding or the funding for it partially from Lake Township, and we just appreciate the partnership that we share with them. At this time, I'd like to ask Steve to come up, and we're going to hear from our elected officials.
I'd like to thank everybody for inviting us. I guess I'm going to start first off with Jeff Walsimer, who's the state rep for this area, and then Rosemary Brown, who is our senator, and A.G. Howell is our DA for Wayne County. He's not going to speak, but he said I'm recognizing him. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm the chairman of the Republican Party. I'm also a township supervisor with Damascus Township. And I do have a little experience in emergency services. I'm on Damascus Ambulance Corps. So I understand where you guys are coming from, and I appreciate everything you guys do. So thank you very much. They promised to keep it under 20 minutes.
We'll go together, come on.
Okay, go
Let's
together.
go together, separate, come together. Good evening, everyone. I'm Senator Rosemary Brown. Happy New Year. It's always a pleasure to join you. And Dave, I have to say, you know, I get it with realistic expectations. You know, things have become tough, you know, in many ways with all the AI. And, you know, in politics, you have that realistic expectations also. And Anne-Marie, that was really nice. I have never really seen that where a partner and a spouse are thanked officially. So it was really very, very nice. I want to thank Lake Township. That was wonderful to give, hi Tim, to give that support to you all. And you know, when I go around, I do my absolute best to remind people that our fire departments, my district, 100% volunteer. And there's so many volunteers in our community all across, you know, and they're wonderful. But when you're a volunteer firefighter, as was said, it's life or death. It's a very strong responsibility. And when someone calls 911, most people don't understand the ins and outs of it. It seems very simple. They expect somebody to show up, whether it's the ambulance, the fire department, and they expect safety. And And so you have taken on as volunteers a very, very strong responsibility. And I thank you for that. And I'm really here tonight just to say thank you, to keep my connection open with you, that you always feel comfortable reaching out to me. You always feel comfortable to tell me the truth, what's happening on the ground. And just make sure, you keep us in tune at the state level. We can't get you everything, we can't be perfect, but we gotta get better and better. And I know you're up against a lot. So I'm here to say thank you. If you need anything, please call, and God bless you all and stay safe. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the invite. This is really what makes Wayne County strong. There's neighbors out there that get called and stand up and pitch in, and then they go and they work hard and train. And then they get called out for the community and do us all a service by responding to events that protect us all. And the service that you all provide is really what is the fabric that weaves our society together. And I'm sincerely thankful for all that you do. And I can add a little bit to that. I know a little bit about the training because I spent a day training down at the Pike County Training Center, and I can tell you, the end of the day, I was pretty exhausted, and just a note to self: if you're ever in a confined space with myself, and you happen to go down, don't expect to come out the other side really in good shape, because if I'm dragging you, it's going to be a tough haul. I got into a confined space in a suit, and I thought I was going to be able to just zip right through this and drag this doll or person, it was a dummy, out. And I got into this confined space and realized how difficult this job really was. And, at the end of the day, I was exhausted. And I looked around, and all of the other firefighters were ready to go. And they were going to go another day, and they were staying on to train more. They were away from their families. And countless hours of training like that goes on. I understand. So again, I want to say thank you very much for what you do. My office is always available. I'm always available. I support the firemen in our district and throughout the Commonwealth. And with that, I would like to call up 4 people. We have the senator, and I want to honor 4 years of service. Austin Kaiser, David Karazi, Stephen Petrovsky, and Nick Karazi. Could you guys come up, please? So you heard the chief go through and explain the years of service that each of these distinguished gentlemen had, and I'm not going to belabor that, but on behalf of the Commonwealth, for both myself and the senator, I want to present you with certificates and citations for your years of service in the Commonwealth and the state. The Senate and the House of Representatives extends their appreciation to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. At this time, if I could have the elected officers of the Maplewood Fire and Rescue Company come up for the swearing-in ceremony by our Lake Township Supervisor.
Gooder, can you get Anne-Marie?
Paging Anne-Marie Carazzi. Paging Anne-Marie Carazzi.
I think so. Not.
I'm the treasurer too, so
All right, thank you everybody for being here tonight. I'm Tim Daggers, Lake Township Supervisor, and I'd like to swear in all of our officers for this year. If you'd all please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth. And that I will discharge the duties of, and state your position. In Lake Township, Wayne County, with fidelity. Congratulations.
Thank you, Tim. At this time, I'd like to have our guest speaker, Jeremy, come up and provide the address.
Can everybody hear me if I don't use the microphone? I've been known to have a big voice, so I'd rather, because I like to wander and talk, wander and walk while I talk. Thank you. This is my second year with you all. A lot of familiar faces from last year, and I'm greatly honored to be here tonight again. Chief, thank you for the invitation to speak again. I'm glad it worked out with the schedule. Super honored to be here. A little background about myself. I've been a fireman for over 30 years in New Jersey, Bergen County, New Jersey. In 2018, I started a podcast and social media platform for the American Fire Service. I noticed that there was something missing. The storytelling of yesterday, bringing it forward to today, the disconnect between young and old. And I felt that with my experience and insights into the fire service that we could fill this void of storytelling and preserving tradition and culture in the fire service. And that's what we started in 2018. Fast forward, here we are 8 years later. This March will be 8 full years. We have a national presence. I tour around the country speaking about the fire service, volunteer and career. I talk about the ups and the downs. I talk about the honesty. I talk about the things that we need to address if we want to survive as a volunteer organization rooted on Main Street, USA. There are things that we need to do ourselves to make sure that we can thrive. As I travel across the country, I get to see fire companies in all shapes and sizes. When we talk about the fire service in today's times, we talk about it in a blanket statement. And this is maybe for the township and for our elected officials to understand that even in your own commonwealth, you have fire companies that are truly rooted in community. They could be dirt floors, apparatus that are over 50 years old, truly neighbors helping neighbors, coming to one another's aid. That is the true spirit of what the volunteer fire service is all about. But then in the same commonwealth, or maybe 3 zip codes over, you could have a very busy urban department that is well funded. When we talk about the fire service on a national level today, we need to talk about the nuances of it. We need to talk about small town USA, and we also need to talk about big city USA. Here in Maplewood, this is a beautiful community. This is my 2nd year being here. I've gotten to know many of you. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of names I remembered. And a lot of the conversation comes back to this, community. The chief hit on it before. The elected officials hit on it. How important it is to believe in your hometown fire department. Elected officials have to come to rely on the fire department to be able to provide proficient and professional services, whether volunteer or career. The person on the other end of the call looking for help does not care if you get a paycheck or not. And what's funny about that is so often the responder doesn't matter or doesn't care either. The volunteer firefighters love their community. In a time today, we're talking about AI, we're talking about social media, the disconnect from reality, putting our phones down. When you look at society today, everybody walks with their heads down. There's nothing better than watching those videos online of people falling in fountains in the mall because they're on their phone. You know what I'm talking about. They're on their phone and they fall in or they run into a telephone pole or a light fixture because they're not paying attention. When you look around in small town USA, Main Street, the firehouse, the fire department is rooted as the core root of that community. It's a community center. People want to drive by and see the doors up. People want to see firefighters marching in the parade, polishing and washing that truck. It's a symbol of pride and honor. And people in their community feel good about that. And so when I talk about walking with your heads down, yeah, most of the community does these days, but not our volunteers. Our volunteer firefighters walk with their heads up. They're conscious of the people around them. They are giving back time. They have a love and passion for their neighbor and their community, and that is of the very best. You can't ask for more from anyone else than to volunteer their time to give back like you all do, and you should all be very proud. As I sat here tonight and I listened to the words, had conversations with many of you that carried on from last year, there's this tremendous sense of pride and ownership within your own department. I stopped at the firehouse before I came down here. I'm a fireman. I love going to firehouses and seeing what you do. I know Maplewood added on the 2 garage bays. I know you have a new aerial scope. And then my friend over here comes over and tells me all about the Diamond Rio. There's an incredible sense of pride that he gets bloody knuckles every time he polishes that truck, because he's polishing it every day, because there's a sense of pride and ownership. How much more can you ask of your people than that? Because you know that if the small tasks are being done in-house, if the truck is being washed and polished after every run, the floors are swept, the equipment's checked, and you're going to training, I can count on you as an elected official that when the alarm sounds, you're coming. Because you are responding with your head up. You're looking around, you're taking care of one another. I was standing over here having a conversation, a wonderful gentleman came over and had the most flattering words and basically said, "These gentlemen saved my life." What a moment. Volunteers, your neighbor, somebody that lives next door that took the initiative to learn, to know more, to learn a craft like firefighting or EMS, and then to be able to provide assistance for their neighbor and save their life. What higher calling is there? I would challenge all of you that when you do wear that patch on your sleeve and you do respond through town and you do have an interaction with somebody in the public, embrace it. Embrace your customer, your client, our neighbor, your residents. Embrace them. Show them what you do. and wear that pride with honor and integrity. Because at the end of the day, it is all about community. And that's truly what you have here. This is something really special. Really, really special. As I travel, I asked the chief tonight, I said, is there anything you want me to hit on? And I asked a couple of you tonight, is there anything you want me to hit on? Anything particular? Can I drive home a point? Nobody really gave me anything of substance. And a lot of places I go and speak, they go, hey, can you talk about this? Can you kind of drive this point home? You know, hey, we're having a hard time getting our members out. We're having a hard time with training. We're having a hard time with this. I didn't get any of that with this group. You guys are all dialed in. And it seems like that comes from a really well-run culture. And culture is a tricky thing in the fire service because as I travel across the country, career or volunteer, there are winning fire companies and there are losing fire companies. It has everything to do with how we treat our people. And it's exciting. I came back this year because I saw a winning culture here last year. I saw a group of people that had pride and ownership in everything that they did. That fuels me to want to come back, to be more of that, to be part of that. And so when I watch that happen, there's a winning culture here. And that is based upon trust and camaraderie. It's based upon doing your job, respecting the badge, respecting the positions and titles, and letting your people work. The funny thing about the volunteer fire service today is everybody likes to complain about the training. It's too much time. It takes us too far away from our family. We don't have time to go to fire school. We don't have time to be an EMS. We don't have time to do this. We have 1,000 excuses why the volunteer fire service might be broken. But then I sit in a room like this and I go, well, we're doing something right here. There are winning fire companies in this country that are thriving. Members are flocking to them. Why? Because they have a culture that allows their people to do what they want to do most, and that's to do their job. And I say job as a volunteer. Fire doesn't care, as you all know. Fire will kill you. Fire will hurt you. And so whether you get a paycheck or not, the same fire they go to in New York City, maybe it's not a 7-story high-rise out 3 windows on arrival, but it could be a 2.5-story wood frame in Staten Island, and it looks identical to the homes here. So our politicians, our community, people have to understand that firefighters go to the same fires here that they go to in New York City, in Philadelphia, and across this country. There's no difference. Fire will kill you. It doesn't matter. And so when I talk about winning cultures, our people, fuel your people to win. I walked in before, somebody said to me, winners win, right? Give your winners everything they need to succeed, because I talked about that last year. And I agree with that 100%. Your department is as best as you can give. So as you give your people more, you give them opportunity, you give them the ability to perfect their craft, they will get better, they will perform better for your community, and you will have a better culture where people want to be a part of it. At the end of the day, there are more opportunities than ever before today for people to be distracted. And so if they're not active in your firehouse, you have to ask yourself why. Why don't people prioritize the firehouse? And in a lot of losing cultures and a lot of losing fire departments, it's because of broken leadership, a terrible culture, and misdirection. Here, it feels like there's direction, there's purpose. As you respond and perform your services daily for your community, there's a sense of pride and ownership that I keep coming back to. That's what fuels the culture. Make the firehouse a priority. If you want to get people in your firehouse, give them the tools to succeed. People want to be a part of a winning team. Nobody ever wants to be on a losing team. I stopped playing beer league softball because we never won. I would wake up every Monday morning, hungover, my legs stuck to the sheets because I was sliding in the game, right? If you play baseball, you know what I'm talking about. My wife's angry at me. And finally, I'm like, why do I keep playing softball on Sundays when I just get in trouble and hurt? I stopped doing it. We were losing. We lost. We never won. Nobody wants to be a part of a losing team. It's exciting to see what you have here. And I'm honored to be able to have the opportunity to speak in front of you today. But everything I'm saying here, you all know. I'm not saying anything different or new. You prioritize the fire service. You prioritize EMS. You allow your people and give your people the tools to succeed and thrive. To see the membership here today wearing their brass, wearing their Class A's, being proud of the uniform. What more can you ask? And I have to tell you, as a politician, or the township committee, or a fire commissioner, or just a resident of this town, I have to tell you that I would feel really good to be in this room and to see the people that have dedicated so much of their time back to their community. It's exciting, and I want to challenge you all to double down on it. Trust in the fire service, trust in what you do, and I promise you the reward is 10 times over. I'm one of the luckiest guys in the fire service. I've carved out this niche with National Fire Radio. I get to travel all over. I've been to Hawaii. I've been across the country speaking, talking, learning, meeting people, creating new relationships and friends. It doesn't get any better than that. And I'm so fortunate for that. And I would challenge you all to believe in it, double down in it, and understand that this can provide so much for you, even just as a volunteer. Because we all know it's much more than volunteer. This isn't the library commission or the planning board or the school board. This is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you never know when you're going to your worst call. And yet we take on the responsibility to be there and to do it. Kudos to all of you for that. And I can tell you that this is a winning fire company. Maplewood Fire and Rescue is a winning fire company. You have a lot going for it, and I promise you, you want to talk about recruitment and retention? This is how you do it right here. This is retention at its best. I always say in the fire service, when we talk about trying to get the next generation in, yes, it's imperative. You know what we have to do before that? We have to keep the people that already came through the door. Focus on retention first. Recruitment will come. When you give your people the tools to thrive and succeed, people will want to be a part of that winning team. They want to win. Your best recruitment tool are your own members, out in the community, being proud of the patch they wear, and talking to their fellow neighbor, or the guy at the deli, or the person at the pizza place, telling them about Maplewood Fire Rescue. That is the best recruitment campaign you could possibly have for your organization. Keep your people happy, give them the tools they need to succeed, and your recruitment will come. But we have to retain our members, and we have to give them what they need. Make the firehouse a priority again for your people, and people will come. And with that, Chief, thank you very much for the invitation tonight. All of you, I appreciate you all. I'm hanging out. Let's have conversation.
Thank you, Jeremy. That concludes our program for this evening. I just want to close with a couple of words. I'm incredibly proud of what we've accomplished in the last 20 years at Maplewood Fire and Rescue. We work extremely hard to provide the township with a top organization, to make sure that we work hard, that we take care of our people, take care of our community, our apparatus. When we go out the door, we want to make sure that we're a company that can be counted on when we're assisting one of our mutual aid companies. And we've accomplished a great deal with a little. And I'm excited to see what the next chapter holds. In 2025, we accomplished a tremendous amount, a lot of things off the list, and we added a lot of things to the list that we want to continue on in 2026. And I'm very proud of all of you. I'm thankful for our mutual aid companies here, our elected officials, our friends, family that have joined us here tonight to celebrate another year. And I just want to say thank you. I appreciate everybody. Have a safe trip going home. Stay, have coffee, have conversation, enjoy some music. Thank you very much.